Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here, for being subscribed if you are. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube while you're at it, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. So let's get into this conversation/reality chat. I really didn't have any intentions on talking about this anymore, but I've talked about it a few times, and I heard something that literally had me in tears this morning. And I'm going to play a clip of it. This is definitely thanks to Make It Make Sense YouTube's channel. I love his content. I've been subscribed to his channel for a while now, and I'm definitely a supporter. So I'm going to put a link to the video in the description box. You can check it out. It is a panel discussion, and it's a comment that one of the people who got up on his panel shared. And this is all in regards to Kimmi and Maurice from Love and Marriage Huntsville. You know, I've had several conversations over on my platform to discuss it. And he talked about pretty much what I already talked about, which was Funky Dineva and Claudia Jordan of TGIF on Fox Soul, and the interview that Kimmi and Maurice did on their platform. And he, played parts of it, and then he shared his views and opinions, and then allowed people to come up on his platform via a panel and share their thoughts and opinions. But there's this one woman that just struck me, and I honestly didn't listen to the entirety of the panel discussion. I was listening to it while I was in the gym early this morning and on my way home from the gym, so I didn't get to listen to the remainder of it. But what this woman said literally had me in tears. And this is what I think Kimmi doesn't get, because it was honestly insulting when Kimmi was in the interview and pretty much dismissive and made a comment regarding the fans per se. And I get it. There are some people that can do too much and go too far, but that's not the majority of people. But these people who get on these shows, they need to understand, realize, and accept the fact that when people have the, how do I put it? Even the care to watch the shows that they're on, because nobody owes them that. They should be thankful that people are watching the shows that they're on, because if nobody was watching it, nobody'd know who you were, and you wouldn't be on the television screen, and you wouldn't be getting a check, howbeit small, medium, or large it may be. I don't know what any of these people get paid to be on the show, but obviously they need it. I'm just saying, because if they didn't need it, they wouldn't keep coming back. I don't think that they get it when they make comments like that it could be extremely disrespectful to people who take the time out of their schedules to watch their shows, period. No one owes you that. No one. And so she made a comment to say, sometimes, she said, I don't pay attention, to the comments, and, some of the fans, they really do too much. I don't think that she gets that people aren't really here to try to destroy her marriage. No one's trying to destroy her marriage. Her husband does a pretty decent job of that, but like Funky Dineva said, we know you ain't going anywhere. So it's like nobody is here to try to tear them apart or try to convince her that she needs to leave. But we are expressing our opinions, because if you're going to put it out there, you give people the opportunity to share their opinions. People aren't going to just watch it and keep their mouths shut. They're going to express their opinions. So this isn't about judgment. This is about you showing us something, and we're sharing our opinions on what you are allowing us to see. And what you're allowing us to see is shitty. And so when this woman shared this, I just was like, my God, if Kimmi can't understand this, then she's doomed. Like, this is the life that she chose, and this is the man that you really wanted to marry you. He gave in because he got some things out of it. He's getting what he wants out of it. And you're allowing him to treat you this way. And then you try to gaslight the people who are watching this Fox Soul interview on TGIF, and you're pretty much trying to make us feel convinced that you actually wanted it. How do you go from going through cancer treatments and saying that you don't really feel like it to now being in this interview to say, well, I felt like I was missing out. I was doing it because I wanted it. I felt like I was missing out. Girl, you're a liar. And it's made me just totally lose any respect for her that I had. And I'm, just seeing things that are being revealed more and more that just really makes me not like this woman very much at all, to be honest with you. I am going to play the audio of this commenter. And if this doesn't touch your heart, I don't know what will, but it just really shed light on the shitty marriage that she is now in, for better or for worse.
Hold on 1 second, Pretty Brown. We gotta rotate it, and then I'm gonna open it up to everybody. So Sheila, jump in.
Hey, how are you?
Hey.
I'm gonna tell you.
I got a headache.
Oh, poor baby. I'm gonna tell you on a personal level. It'll be 2 months on the 16th that my husband passed from cancer. He died May 16th. And that mere fact that I know that experience of him going through radiation, chemo, and how zonked his body was doing those treatments. And him going from being an energetic person, anytime he was on those treatments, he had low energy. He barely got out of bed. And this is the person that would wake up. If he woke up at 2:30, he would get up, put on a pot of coffee, fix breakfast, do whatever. So the idea that she's married to a male that cares less about her, he cares less about her. He will cheat or leave her at a drop of a dime if anything else comes along. I tell you, my husband battled cancer for 13 years. These last 3 months was the worst for him. He really lost a lot of his energy, lost weight that last month, just dropping weight. But I would have never said to my husband, I don't care how you're feeling. This is what I need you to do for me. And I know he would not have done that to me. And this, the sad part about it, that she could sit there and protect someone who cared less about her in that state of mind, because I saw personally what it did to him, and the fact that she's a female and she feels the need to say, oh, he didn't mean it like this. You teach people how to treat you. Don't complain about how he responds to you treating his son. You're teaching him how to treat you. He's treating her like she is low. He could care less about her. If anything happened to her, and I guarantee you she was not in a present mind of state while he was taking care of his business. I'm appalled as a wife that had just lost a husband of 42 years over something that he fought for a long time, and to hear somebody just care less is so insensitive.
Could you guys put your hearts in the chat for Sheila? I want to speak for everybody when I say we can hear the pain in your voice. We are so very sorry for your loss. And I wish I could hug you right now, Sheila.
I appreciate that. But I tell you, I had an awesome husband that I know that if the shoe was on the other foot, he would have taken care of me as well as I took care of him. And as he told me on his dying bed, that I treated him and I took care of him the best. And he was happy with that. He had no worries. And he told me he would always be my guardian angel and not to worry. He would be with me step by step the rest of my life, and he will protect me. And I feel his presence because I know that's what he is doing.
Whew, so you guys heard that. And I'm doing my best to hold back tears right now. That is absolutely heartbreaking. And, you know, the Love and Marriage franchise overall is just disgusting. I'm probably going to talk about that separately, but Maurice and Kimmi sitting in that interview, and for her to sit there and allow this man to disrespect her, like the caller said, you teach people how to treat you, absolutely right. But when you decide to marry someone, the person that you say that you are vowing yourself to and committing to, it shouldn't be that you're battling a disease and you're having to subject yourself to getting screwed because they need to get theirs and you're not into it. And then because you're in a public spotlight and you feel the need to try to cover and protect him when he isn't covering and protecting you, and you're going to lie to the general public and say, well, I was missing out too. You are a liar, Kimmi. I don't believe you for 1 second. And I'm sure you don't care. Like you said, you could care less about the comments, and some people just do too much. But you're the one that's doing too much, because the fact that you thought that you could sit and do this interview and have people believe any of the bull that you spewed, you're insane. And I'm grateful that you got through that battle. Pray you never have to deal with it again. I really do. But honestly, in my personal opinion, I feel like the real cancer in her life is her husband. I can't say that I don't understand people who are married that go through things in life. Life has its issues. All of us do. And none of us are perfect. Absolutely right. But then again, I've said this before and I'll say this again. Love isn't hard. Life is. And it is those who choose to be in a relationship with someone and choose to commit themselves in marriage, which, to be honest with you, it's a legal thing. And it is important. I do believe in marriage. I am an advocate for it, but I'm not one of these people that's out here, shouting for people to get married. It's a personal decision. It's not for everyone. Just like being a parent isn't for everyone. Just because you have the capability of either getting pregnant if you're a female or getting someone pregnant because you're a male doesn't mean that you should be getting people pregnant or that you should be pregnant, because not everyone should be parents and not everyone wants to be parents, and that's okay. So not everyone wants to be married, and that is okay. But for those who chose that decision to get married, it baffles me when people talk about how hard it is. It really isn't hard when you are with the right person. When you're not with the right person, that's when it's hard. Because when you're with the right person and this person is your best friend, you're looking out for their best interest, they're looking out for yours, then you don't have to fight through life so much because you have each other. And yeah, you may have to deal with unfortunate health concerns or issues, or you may deal with a family member that has issues and you're having to deal with that, the stresses of all of that, or you may deal with some financial things that happen that are beyond your control. A lot of people dealt with a lot of things like that during the pandemic and whatnot, or even before. But when you are with the right person, those things shouldn't be hard. The fact that she felt like she had to sit and lie in this interview and gaslight the public to say, well, I felt like I was missing out. So I always made that decision to say that my man wasn't going to go without for any more than 7 days. And it was like 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh man, girl, you are lying. Just be honest. But because you feel the need to try to cover for this douchebag that chose to marry you and you chose to marry, that's your burden to carry. That's the real cancer in your life, sweetheart. I'm sorry that you dealt with the health issue physically absolutely sorry, but happy that you have gotten through that battle. But I'm here to say, in my personal opinion, the real cancer in her life is Maurice Scott. The fact that I had the opportunity to listen to this woman who looks like she's of a certain age. If you go and check out the video and watch it, you'll see her avatar, which is a picture of her and her husband. Beautiful woman, by the way. Beautiful gray dreadlocks. Like, she just lost her husband in May to, unfortunately, the cancer disease. And she said he battled that off and on for, I think she said 13 years. And she never had to deal with anything like you could hear the love still in her voice, even though her husband is no longer here. That's real, genuine love and marriage. What Kimmi and Maurice have, it's obligation. Marriage shouldn't be obligation. It shouldn't be, well, this is what I have to do. If I'm going to keep my man and keep him, please keep him out of these streets. The fact that he had the nerve from where this all sparked to sit in an interview with Carlos King and to say that he needs sex like Carlos needs mess. First of all, Carlos doesn't need mess. He's just a messy queen. And that's a choice that he makes to do that. So it wasn't even funny. Although they laughed at it like it was a joke, it wasn't funny. That's not a need. No one has the need to have sex. And if you have that quote unquote need of having sex, then what you have is a sex addiction and you need help. Just like someone who has an addiction to alcohol, an addiction to any type of drug. Those people need help. They don't need more drinks. They don't need more drugs. They need rehab. And so the fact that she tried to make it seem as if, well, no, this is actually something that I wanted. You're either lying to us on the show when you were saying that you were faking it, or you've lost your desire and going through the chemo and the drugs that you're having to take for the chemo and going through the radiation and just not feeling good didn't make you feel desirable or having the desire to be intimate with your husband. On the show, you said these things. And then in this interview, you say, well, he never forces me. No one said that he forced you. They're saying the fact that he didn't care that you were going through what you were going through, and he was focused on his quote unquote needs still at that point versus focusing on you and what you're going through, and that you obviously were not into it, because if you were, you would have been coming onto him versus rolling over, pulling your panties down and letting them slide in. And I'm sorry to be so graphic, but that's pretty much what I can assume happened. I'm quite sure it wasn't her dressing up in lingerie, turning on some music, lighting some candles, doing a sexy dance for him to turn him on because she was in the mood and he wasn't. And then it got him aroused, and then they got to the do and she did him and he went to sleep. No, it was just like, and I'm just being honest, guys. So spare me if you don't like the graphics. I'm not trying to be too graphic, but because we have dogs at our home, I see it. I see when the dogs are in heat. Okay. So, and because to me, he is like a dog, that's how I'm describing him. So what's pretty much happening between the two of them is just like our dogs. When the girl is in heat, the boy, he is ready to get it on, and he is just running around the backyard trying to get her. He grabs her. She stands there. He's putting it in there, and he's doing what he needs to do, or trying to at least. And that's pretty much what's going on. It's not her saying, I'm in the mood and I'm ready to do the do. No, she's just letting him hit it so that he can blast off and go to sleep. And I don't know how many times a day or night he needs it, but he said he needs it a lot. So I'm assuming it's more than once a day. It's disgusting. So to hear this woman describe what true, genuine love in a marriage looks like, especially when someone is battling a disease and they are not well, the last thing they're thinking about is sex. And the last thing that other person should be thinking about also is sex. But that's just how selfish he is, and she doesn't realize that nobody out here is trying to tear her down or even tear him down. We're just telling the truth. If you see that as people tearing them down, then you don't understand what people really are doing. It's not that people are out here trying to tear them down or destroy them, destroy their marriage. Like Letitia used to say, you tried to ruin my marriage. You tried to destroy my marriage. Nobody's trying to destroy your marriage. We're putting some things out there. It's up to you whether you choose to believe it or not. We can't force you to make any decisions whether what you stay in or get out of. We really don't care that much. If it were that much that we would care, I mean, people would literally be trying to tear them apart. Like when I say literally, not just making comments in the comment section or even creating content about it or commenting on interviews that they've done or whatever. They would literally be out there like picketing in front of their house. Kimmy's gotta go. Kimmy's gotta go. Divorce that dick. Divorce. No one's doing that. No one's trying to tear you apart, destroy your marriage. You're going to do what you want to do. Like Funky Dineva said, you ain't going nowhere anyway. So we're just sharing our thoughts and views. And who knows, maybe at some point in time, a light bulb will spark and you will say, maybe they did have a point, but it's up to you to make that decision. No one here is trying to make it happen for you, but we can talk about seeing what we see. Just like he wanted to say, I said what I said, we see what we see. And we're going to talk about it. But guys, when I listened to this caller, I was in tears on my way back home from the gym because that's when that part came up. And I just really wanted to talk about that because it needed to be heard. And I just felt like I needed to expound on that even more because I didn't plan on talking about that topic again. Unless something big, just happened to come about with regards to it. But at this point in time, I've shared my thoughts on it. I agree with a lot that Make It Make Sense said on his YouTube video when he was speaking about it before the panel callers started coming up and sharing their thoughts and opinions on it. But yeah, she was not being honest. She pretty much tried to make us believe that she actually wanted it. She was in the mood as well. It wasn't just him and no one's, he's not making me do anything. Well, I don't believe any of us said that, but he might as well. I mean, he might as well. He may not be making you. He may not be raping you because, it can happen. I know some people want to believe that, well, if you're married, a spouse can't do that. It's force, but we're not saying that he's forcing you, but we're saying he doesn't care how you're feeling and he's putting his feelings over your health. And so you care more about protecting his image, and that is really weird. It's really, really weird. So guys, it's weird that she's really more concerned about protecting his image than him protecting her honor. And so they both just kind of disgust me at this point. So I'm just being honest. I really wanted to talk to you guys about that. Share it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I really appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful. And now I'm going to say bye.